So I wanted to do a video on why I settled on a pre-Columbian style diet, as opposed to something like a ketogenic diet or something like that to promote my own personal health. And the reason bears out in many people that have lived a long while, from the Seventh-day Adventists to people like the Tarahumara to a Bolivian hunter-gatherer tribe, which I'm going to leave a lot of links to. And that is that these diets that promote heart health and good health tend to be rich in fibrous vegetables. They have some fruits, they have some nuts and seeds, and they tend to also incorporate a lot of physical activity into their lifestyle. Now, the reason I settled with a pre-Columbian style diet as opposed to, say, a high-fat diet such as the Mediterranean diet is when you look at the diets that are shown again and again and again and again to promote health, they are usually, or almost always, plant-centered diets, rich in fibrous vegetables, rich in fruit, with some nuts, some seeds, and usually some animal meat, because you're not going to find a vegan group of people naturally occurring in the world. However, what I want to point out is I made a video about the Adventist lifestyle the other day. It was like the Adventist lifestyle versus the Hallelujah diet or something like that. And I posted a link in the description of a 102-year-old Adventist woman talking about her diet and lifestyle. Now, you're not going to find a 102-year-old carnivore. That's not going to happen. Unless it happens to be some type of 102-year-old Greenland shark or something. My point is this, though. My point is that this carnivore fad and this ketogenic fad, they're not proven to promote health. Maybe in the short term, but we don't have enough research in the long term. We have plenty of research in the long term that a plant-centered diet does promote longevity. Now, as many people know, now another good thing about the pre-Columbian diet is the cocoa. Okay, now the cocoa that I drink cocoa every day. I either have it in a cup of decaf coffee or I have it in a smoothie that also contains blueberries. I take about 6 tablespoons of cocoa a day to help with my heart health. Now, another thing about this Bolivian hunter-gatherer tribe that was mentioned by Sanjay Gupta is that they cohabitate with parasites. And I remember there was an episode of Vegetable Police's Insanity where he was trying to infect himself with trichinosis in order to, because he considered them to be like probiotics. Now, the cohabitation with parasites, they're not symbiotes, mind you. They are not symbiotic life forms that benefit you and you benefit them. But another way to moderate the immune response is to take something like a baby aspirin. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not telling people to take a baby aspirin a day or anything like that. But a baby aspirin a day, as many people know, I do see a cardiologist because I have something that they think now it's ventricular tachycardia. So I take an aspirin a day, a baby aspirin a day, sometimes 2 a day, to help moderate, to help stop platelet aggregation. Okay, but the other reason is it does moderate the immune response. It helps knock down inflammation. And it's relatively safe, especially compared to infecting yourself with trichinosis or roundworms or hookworms or something of that nature. But again, not a doctor, not saying take an aspirin a day. But that's one other thing I would like to point out here. And a pre-Columbian diet doesn't necessarily have to contain all pre-Columbian foods, though many foods are pre-Columbian, like tomatoes, pineapple, papaya, these things. But for example, apples. I eat a considerable amount of apples. Apples were introduced by Europeans to the Americas. I also eat barley. I don't care for quinoa, so I eat barley. Barley was a centerpiece of the Middle Eastern and Mediterranean slave diet, which is very healthful. It's also rich in fiber, rich in carbohydrates, like foods enjoyed in the by the pre-Columbian people. I avoid smoking, I avoid drinking, I avoid drug use. These are all things important, and I have increased my physical activity, trying to increase it to levels where it was prior to me developing these problems. And that's all for this. I'm going to leave links to some of my videos where I discuss things like cocoa, discuss the pre-Columbian diet, stuff like that. And I'm also going to leave a lot of links to this tribe, this Bolivian hunter-gatherer tribe, And I really do think more people should look into adopting a pre-Columbian style vegan or even a pre-Columbian style plant-centered omnivorous diet. And that's all for this video.